John's friend Ernie wants to try commercial kayaking, so they retraced John's path of 12 years earlier, exploring Port Barton to Sabang by paddle and banca. The coastline is still beautiful and pristine, with endless camping beaches. John's local friends have a good trip in these pristine waters, ending at the underground river. Thanks to John's sea caving expertise and environmental commitment, Mayor Hagedorn allows the Big Monkey and his friend Ernie to paddle kayaks back to a landmark at 4 kilometers called the Rock Pile, for obvious reasons. The underground river is accessed by bancas from sleepy Sabang. They land on this beach, frequented by enterprising macaques and monitor lizards out to steal a meal from unsuspecting tourists. The big shock was this rare Palawan peacock hanging out around the rest stop, a CITES red flag endangered species with only 2,500 left in the wild. After their wildlife fix, Ernie decided to show John and the interns his top secret river that glides down through the heart of Palawan. The upper reaches are virtually pristine, dropping down to lower stretches that flatten out and eventually end up in Honda Bay. Along the way, they saw signs of illegal logging by forest folks living beyond the reach of Princesa's relentless anti-poaching propaganda. Somehow there's always that 10% who never get the word. There's still a need for forestry patrols, so they visited Albert Cristiano of the City Forestry Service. Albert controls all lumber seizures and prepares all legal cases for prosecution. Here he shows the lumber on hold as evidence and explains the city's commitment to stop illegal logging.
Our office made a proposal in coordination with other agencies regarding the communal forest. We believe that by allowing people to have their own forest and make use of it as a source of their consumption, then we can save some other areas. Unlike without that, they cut it rampantly, and they just go to the mountain in one place and cut everything they see there. Unlike if they have this communal forest, everybody is enjoined, is obliged to take part and plant their own trees and wait for some time, then harvest it, and everybody will benefit from it.
Is clean government effective? For $200,000 US per year, Puerto Princesa operates 3 forestry units, Baywatch on both coasts, and clean city refuse and sewer programs. John still hadn't seen the coastline, so Ernie took him to both the East Coast and West Coast in just one day. Honda Bay fronts Princesa's East Coast, but the West Coast is a spectacular hardwood forest, marching from the ridgelines on down to the surf. All recovered secondary growth returned after years of replanting hardwoods. The bountiful rivers and streams are testimony to how fast planet Earth can recover when we treat it with respect. Puerto Princesa's near-perfect nature would be an attraction almost anywhere. The fact that this place is in the Philippines simply brings home the concept. If these people can reclaim their perfect nature, we can do it anywhere we want. Some may call it a miracle, but Princesa's return to nature is the result of hard work, commitment, proper planning, honest government, and non-stop environmental festivals. Now let's take a look at how Hagedorn and company pull off this miracle in a land where every tree is cut as soon as possible, corruption abounds, and reefs are beaten into submission by dynamite and cyanide. First, there is the example, Hagedorn himself. The Godfather turned good guy label suits him well. Anywhere else in Asia, these turtles found in a fish farm would end up in the stew pot. In Princesa, it wasn't even a consideration. Puerto Princesa may not be rich, but clean government can accomplish a lot. There are real satellite schools and medical clinics in outlying regions. A golden boy with UNESCO, World Bank, Asian Institute of Management, and Asian Development Bank, Mayor Hagedorn is chairman of the powerful National Council of Mayors and organizes Princesa's non-stop environmental festivals. Love affair with nature was the first stop on John's documentary saga. Of course, the event starts on Valentine's Eve with a mass wedding for Puerto Princesa's poor. Hagedorn and his wife Ellen married 63 couples the night John got off the plane. Hagedorn gave every couple a personally signed wedding license, a bag of presents from the city, cash out of his own pocket, and a wedding cake as big as a king-size bed. After the wedding, half the school kids in town camped out to start mangrove planting at 4 a.m. There was even a guest planting area and a Brugueria mangrove with the best set of air-exchanging pneumatophore roots John had ever seen. He definitely noticed that instead of the single-species plantings so common in Asia, the kids were planting a variety of species as nature does. After the eco-event, participants started the day with a sunrise aerobics concert. Helping the environment just got to be good fun. Following the love affair, John visited the croc farm where Dr. Glenn Abang prepares a colony of Philippine crocodile hatchlings to repopulate their habitats. Currently, there are only 70 estimated in the wild. Croc rescue staff give the crocs an experienced hand, and they look pretty cute at this age. Later on, well, crocs will be crocs. Crocodylus perosus, a candidate for most evil animal in the sea, populates the southernmost reaches of the Philippines. Once captured, they make the 1,000-kilometer journey to Puerto Princesa, where Mayor Hagedorn gives even these salties a decent home. Next to the croc farm is a recovery station for Palawan's wildlife, unfortunate enough to end up in human hands. Palawan pig. There's bear cat, neither bear nor cat. And terrapin tortoise. John gave Foundation Day, a week-long festival in March, his next gander. Mrs. Hagedorn loves to plant her favorite tree, the Palawan cherry. This year, the mayor tried the world's largest human peacock to bond together Princessa's kids. It worked. The peacock was formed, and everybody had great fun. Every festival includes at least one performance of the Puerto Princesa city dancers. All are city employees who believe in accurately perpetuating Palawan's indigenous cultures. The dancers heavily research their costumes and dances, often consulting with indigenous tribes and the city's cultural advisor. Performances are dramatic, to say the least. A great way to start the show. Next stop was serious business. Princesa's transportation is primarily motorized tricycles, many of them two-stroke. This week, Harry Utham came from Manila with his liquid natural gas conversion kit, sponsored by the city. Each tricycle operator eventually contributes half of the conversion, but starts making 2,000 pesos a month extra as a result, a 33% increase in profit. John eventually worked his way to the Pista Iang Kagiban, the Festival of the Forest, granddaddy of all tree-planting festivals, at least in this part of the world. It's a 3 a.m. wake-up call to catch the crowds on their way to the pista. Be it dump truck, motorbike, or tourist van, there's no doubt when you are on the road to the pista. The planting starts before dawn, and at first light we see hillsides infested with school kids planting, all orderly, drug and alcohol-free, and well aware of their mission. With participation of 40 government agencies, the pista is well organized and great fun. Bamboo stakes mark trails to planting areas, and there's a stick for every sapling. Since there is an 80% retention rate, trees have to be planted in the right places.